In today's video, we're going to take a quick look at the iBUYPOWER I-Series gaming desktop. Now, for those curious on the specific configuration of this unique one that we're looking at today, I'll pan around here to the back so you can see the exact model there, the G249 Alpha 655 08-2020. All right, so let me jump right in here on the review. And for those who are not familiar with our channel already, JBrokers is a risk-free secondhand marketplace. We make it safe and easy to buy and sell just about anything worth over $100, just like this gaming desktop here. Now, we just got this in the shop recently and it already sold. It's going out today. So I wanted to make this quick video before it leaves. You can see here on the chassis, the design is very simple and straightforward. Nothing fancy, very rectangular. It's got a lot of tempered glass on it. This whole panel on the side, tempered glass. And I suspect it might be on the front as well. It does label it on the side panel, but I would think the front is also tempered. You can see here it's got the circular LEDs. Those are actually the fans, of course, inside, and we'll take a peek at that in a little bit. But it's kind of a nice touch that they all light up and they're synchronized. And then it's got one in the back as well. So that's pretty much it for the case lighting. There is a light on the graphics card in there you'll see as well. But as far as the case lighting itself, all four of the fans are lit. The case is very simple otherwise. It's got just a window, kind of a frame around that window. And then up on top here, we've got our headphone jack, mic jack, and then two USB ports and our power button. And then we've got a LED for the power and then a hard drive indicator light there. Now, my only complaint or observation I should say about this power button is when we got this into the shop, just kind of testing it, setting it up, different times I would kind of have my hand resting or maybe an arm resting or an elbow, just barely bumping this button, just kind of grazing it barely, and it was very sensitive. It would often turn itself on or turn itself off with just very little pressure. So just something to keep in mind if you're setting things on top of this case. This power button seems to be very sensitive, so just be aware of that. Then up on top here, we've got this grill grate, and this is kind of a neat feature. It's magnetic, so it's got this little screen to prevent things from dropping into the case, but if you really want to open it up and get some ventilation, it just comes right off with magnets held on the side there. So you can see how nice the airflow is all along the top there. And then if you do wish to push this back on, it's magnetic, so easy to put on. You can see this is a used item and it does seem to collect grime and dust along the screen there naturally, so that's just something you could over time clean if you had to. But it's still kind of a nice feature that you can pull that on and off fairly easily. And then on the bottom you can see it just got some basic legs there to keep it off the ground or off the floor wherever you're mounting your desktop. And let's move around here to the back to give you an idea of all the different ports here. All right, so this is your basic motherboard up top. Let me flip these antennas down and I'm gonna pull these USBs out as well so you can get a better idea. So you do have a PS2 port, for those of you who know what that is, up at the top there. And then you've got your old school USBs here. And then of course your blue ones are the 3.0s on the motherboard. Then it does have a built-in HDMI as well, and Ethernet. Does have the Wi-Fi built into the motherboard, so that's what these antenna are on the back here. They do screw on and off, but that's kind of a nice feature that you've got Wi-Fi built into the motherboard. And then of course there's your integrated audio down below the Wi-Fi antenna. All right, then below that are all your expansion slots. And so right now this one does have a graphics card installed already, and you can see this one, we'll take a peek inside, but you can see on the outside it's got 1, 2, 3 DP or display ports, and then one HDMI jack on there. Lots of ventilation, of course, even in the expansion slot blanks. They're all vented, very nice for ventilation. And then down below, you've got your power supply. It does have an on-off, a master on-off switch here as well, if you don't want to use the power button on the front there. All right, so that's basically the front there. Now let me take a look inside and let's see how it's all laid out. One thing I'll say about the mechanism to remove these sides here, it's real basic. You know, some cases have a fancy eject or release or something like that that's spring-loaded. This one's just old school, just got some thumb screws or thumb nuts, and you just unscrew them. And then this whole panel is going to slide out. So it's a little tricky if you're doing it one hand. Just make sure you do grab it since it is tempered glass, but it just slides right on out. And you can see here that it's got two slots, one there and one up there. that has two little heads, circular heads that kind of slot into those, and that's what locks the case on, in addition to the kind of the rails that are holding it on. But then that piece of glass just flips on out. Spin it around here so we can get a better view. All right, let me pull out so you can see the whole thing all at once. So this is what it looks like on the left side when that tempered glass is removed. You can see down below you've got your iBUYPOWER supply, and it has kind of a nice cover down here that covers up your power supply, and also if you see in there is a 3.5-inch hard drive hidden under that as well. So that kind of, I think they did that to help direct the airflow so that it goes through the bottom there and kind of has this channel, and then of course your fan's in the front. So it kind of looks real nice and clean, especially since it's got the tempered glass on there. When you're looking in, it just makes it look real clean and simple. Of course, you can see your graphics card there. This is the GeForce RTX. I believe it's the 2060. Let me double check here. Yeah, the 2060. And so this is what came with this particular unit from iBUYPOWER when it was configured originally. And then you do have an extra PCIe power here as well. So that's nice. But again, check out all the ventilation. I think one strength about this particular model is you do have a lot of ventilation here with these 3 fans on the front. They really maximized all that space to have lots of ventilation, lots of airflow. And it does look nice with the LEDs on both sides. You can see there, the fans are kind of in the middle, and then there's an LED ring on both sides. And so it really has a nice look to it overall. And then you've got the same fan on the back there as well. So I think that's one thing, again, they really did a great job of, is integrating airflow and fans. There's a lot of airflow here that comes this way from iBUYPOWER without you having to add fans later. So that's real nice. All right, let's take a look above the graphics card. You can see the processor and its fan, of course, right above it on the motherboard there. And then directly to the right over here, we've got our memory bank. So we've got a total of 4 slots. And right now, 2 of those slots are occupied. And then you can see all your connectors off to the right of the memory banks there, your SATA connectors, of course your main power running to the power supply, and all of that there as well. So let me push in just a little bit tighter so you can get a good idea of the motherboard. And this one is a gigabyte, if I'm not mistaken. I believe it is a gigabyte motherboard, so that was supplied to iBUYPOWER for the motherboard on this particular unit. And it does have a Core i7 processor right there installed at present. And you can see even in the chassis, they've got these slots back here that kind of hide all your cords, because you'll notice it looks very clean when you look at this. And of course, with the tempered glass on there, being able to see in and the lights, you know, a lot of times you've got wires all over the place in a case like this. But with these channels back here, everything looks real clean and simple because everything's tucked out of the way and hidden. So that's kind of a nice touch that they opted to do that. All right, let me pan up to the top. You can see the connectors for the power button and the USB ports up there as well. Real clean and simple. So I hope that gives you a real good idea inside how things are laid out. Now you're probably noticing there is something missing here that you haven't seen yet, and that is the SSD. So you saw down here it's got a 3.5-inch hard drive, but what about the SSD? So this particular case design, actually both panels on both sides remove, and they've tucked the SSD on the other side. So let me remove this so you can get a peek at it. Now the right side of your case is not tempered glass, it's just painted metal. And it has the same exact thumb screws on the bottom. And then of course that whole panel just slides on off of there as well. So I'll go ahead and pull that off. And so then you can see the back side here. So see, this is where all the cables are managed basically. They're all hidden behind this metal panel here. This is metal. And then notice how you've got two 2.5-inch capable slots here for 2.5-inch drives. So it has one SSD right now. I believe that's a 512 gigabyte in there. And yeah, it's kind of neat that they hid it behind here. So I'm curious your thoughts, you know, what do you think about it being hidden on the other side here? It's out of the way visually. It maybe takes a little extra work to get to, but at the same time, it's not that hard to remove this other side to get access to the SSD, and then you've got access to the back of all your cables there and your motherboard. So let me know what you think in the comments. If you like the way this is laid out, or if you prefer cases where you only have to pull off one side to get access to everything. And then of course below you can see your 3.5-inch hard drive there, and it doesn't look like you can fit a second one. So next to your 3.5-inch drive, yeah, there's not quite enough room here. I think, pretty sure you could probably get one below here. Just take a closer look there. Yeah, I'm pretty sure you could mount another 3.5-inch drive directly below the main 3.5 that it comes with. So that's kind of a nice feature. And then of course you got plenty of power kind of nested all together there for you to take off for different accessories that you might add. And then if you're wondering what this little module is here, this is what controls the lights or supplies power to the LEDs on the fans. And so actually when we got this unit in the shop, one of the fans, I think it was this top one, was not lighting up. And what happened is this little connector had slipped and fallen out of its slot there that supplies power. So it's got this foam tape, adhesive tape on the connectors to try to keep them in. But if you purchase one of these and you notice your LEDs aren't working, one of them's out, probably what happened is this connector just slipped itself out, and you just have to push it back in there and push that foam tape on there to secure it. So that's what that is there. But really simple, clean layout. You know, I think one thing that iBUYPOWER really did right on this case was the ventilation, of course, as I mentioned, but also just the cleanliness of keeping all these cables out of sight and managed properly. You know, they're all tie wrapped together. It just looks neat and clean for those interested in aesthetics. So I hope this has been helpful. Again, this is the iBUYPOWER I-Series gaming desktop. Let us know your thoughts in the comments below. Is this something that you would like to own? What do you like about it? What do you dislike about it? Let us know. It's extremely helpful to the community. And the last thing I'll show you is the keyboard and mouse. Now obviously you can get any keyboard and mouse with this gaming desktop. This is the particular one that came with it. It's kind of a pretty standard basic entry-level keyboard and mouse combo. But for those interested, this is the iBUYPOWER, looks like the Aris M2-MS. And then on the keyboard, this one is the iBUYPOWER Aris M1 KB. So I think these are pretty much their entry-level versions there. But again, I hope this video has been helpful. For those who are not familiar with JBrokers, we are a risk-free secondhand marketplace. And if you've got a gaming desktop, an iPhone, a gadget, even a guitar, something worth over $100, and you're looking to upgrade or sell it, and you don't want to deal with the risks and hassle and all the drama of eBay or Craigslist or another site like that, JBrokers is your one-stop shop. We will make a cash offer on just about anything worth over $100 that's easy to ship. So go onto our website today to get a risk-free cash offer. If you've got one of our common 2,500 plus products, you can get an instant offer 24/7. Or if you've got something like this desktop that's more custom, you can request a personalized offer and a representative will get back to you within 24 hours. As always, thanks for watching.